It's the Beatles from the beginning to the end. It's their solo careers. It's their humor. It's their incredible music. It's the British invasion. It's their American adversaries. It's an historical musical education. It's the Beatles and a whole lot more. A Beatles fan's paradise. It's Beatles-A-Rama. Tune in. You'll love it. This is Pat Matthews Productions, and I want to welcome you to Beatles-A-Rama TV, your favorite interviews and video, all in one place, right here. Beatles-A-Rama TV. Beatles-A-Rama TV is on the air.
Hi, everybody. I'm James D. Jones for Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV. And today, well, we've got some special guests that I really think you should meet and get to know. It's the two people, the driving force, if you will, behind Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV. None other than Pat Matthews. Hello, Pat. How you doing?
How you doing, James?
Good. And Warren Brown. Warren, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you, James?
Oh, pretty good. You know, we're an hour south of Chicago. We're still pretty cold and
It's
watching out for the
It's
weather and the
freezing
freezing
here.
ice.
Yeah. How you doing, Pat?
I'm doing fine. You know what? The weather warmed up a little bit down here in Louisiana, which we used to call God's country, but then I call the armpit of America. The temperature starts to warm up outside, but then it's cold in the house.
Oh.
And then, you know,
I thought winter was fun until now.
Oh,
and then, you know, I got the electric bill, so I don't want to turn the heater on anymore.
I hear you on that one. Well,
That's
you
right.
know what? Let's talk about Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV. Now,
What's that?
Near and dear to my
Beatles-A-Rama
heart.
Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV has been spinning the soundtrack of our lives for over 2 decades now. 24
yeah.
hours a day, 7 days a week.
Or like Jude likes to say, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week.
There
Let's
you
correct
go.
that.
There you go.
With you to our favorite music here on Beatles-A-Rama. Hey, while you're listening, go to johnlennonseries.com and order Should Have Known Better, Volume 4 in the John Lennon series, a researched, documented narrative of John's life, with the Beatles, of course, in 1964. Check it out, johnlennonseries.com.
You know, it's because of the listeners out there, just like you who are watching this interview, that this radio station and TV is going strong. But we're not powered by algorithms. We're not powered by corporations, but rather by the fans, you. And the fans that believe that the Beatles' music and story deserves to be told in full. If this is a station that has ever turned you on to a song, a session, or even a story you may not have even have known before, consider supporting Beatles-A-Rama with a donation. And your support helps keep the music playing and the history preserved and the lights on. And as fans, folks, your support helps keep the music playing, history preserved, and the lights on. And you can find out how to help at BeatlesARamaRadio.com. And thanks for being part of this wonderful family. Now, Pat, I need to ask you some questions, and Warren, I'm going to get to you as well. So Pat Matthews, he is for all intents and purposes, the curator, the archivist, and the keeper of the flame, if you will.
Yes.
So with that being said, let's go back to the year 2001. And
Right.
what was happening in your life
What was
and in the
happening
world of Beatles that made you say, this needs to exist, Beatles-A-Rama Radio?
Well, before 2001, I think it was 1998, there was a streaming conference for both audio and video in San Francisco. And I was interested in internet radio. I was wondering, how do you do it? You know, and that kind of thing. So I learned at the conference that there was a company called Live 365, and they were like the pioneers of internet radio. And at the time, they were giving away radio stations. I mean, you could have had up to 10 stations if you wanted. And I thought, I'll take 2. So I took 2, and I started doing Beatles-A-Rama basically. But it was kind of a just a British invasion, actually.
Okay.
Right? So I started with that, and then the other one was a disco station.
Oh.
And so it was kind of really a completely different thing. And but then I grew tired of the disco station because it was the same beat over and over. No, that's
right.
But because it was just too much to do. So then I started honing towards a Beatles station, and the problems that I had with Live 365 were that they were very particular about the DMCA guidelines, and that was a ridiculous rule by the government, the DMCA, that you couldn't play the same artist more than 4 times in 3 hours. And
right.
So I had to come up with this format that, would qualify. And so that's when I started thinking about my background in FM radio before that, different categories of music. And so I started with the Beatles. Then I went to British Invasion, and then I went to John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and I started coming up with these different categories to fill on a clock. And by the time I was done, it was ridiculous because, 1 hour I played 2 Beatles songs, and then the next hour I played 1, and the next hour I played 1. So I had to have different clocks. And there was this, I'm not going to give them a plug, but there was my competition was this other station that started like maybe just before me, and they were playing 10 Beatles songs an hour. And I was wondering, how are they doing this? So then I found out they had their own server. And so that they didn't have to worry about, and the corporate world and people being anal about it. So I found somebody. I'm not going to mention his name because he's already gotten in trouble. But he helped me out by carrying the stream. And, and I didn't flog it or anything like that. I mean, I was playing 5 Beatles songs an hour. Unlike the other guy who was getting away for months, just breaking the rules. And so that just kind of irritated. I'm sure you've had situations in your life where you were doing something that somebody else was doing, but they honed in on you and made an example of you and stuff. So they told me I had 48 hours to come up with a format that followed the rules. And that's what I did. And I came up with, I think 12 different categories of music. Yeah. And then I even got to the point where I was spelling Beatles incorrectly. Like I put Beetles, and so all these files that I had at the time were all wrong, but, and then I got caught doing that. And but in the meantime, on Live 365, I was the number 3 rated overall station, and I won the classic rock stream of the year 3 times in a row. So I knew that I was doing something right, and I know that the people were liking it, and I was only losing to a country station on Live 365 and a guy by the name of Mac Kean, I think is his name. I don't know if you know Mac, but he had this like real high energy, contemporary music station that was just blowing up their server. He had so many consecutive concurrent listeners. I was happy to have 200 concurrent listeners. That put me in 3rd place. But Mac McKeon, he had anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 concurrent listeners. And so they told him he had to cut back because it was wearing on their server. So anyway, that's the backstory. That's when it started. And by the way, that day was September 11th, 2001, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
The premiere of Beatles-A-Rama.
Wow. That's amazing that coincided with that date. Wow.
That's right. I had it set up to start that date. Obviously didn't know anything about
right.
what was
Yeah.
going to happen. But that's how I remember where it started.
So that you were just inspired to make your own radio station, and there was an evolution of trial and error and fixing this and fixing that and playing by the rules.
Right.
And it evolved into what people know today as Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV. So
and Warren and I started the TV just a couple of years ago. So,
really?
Yeah.
Well, my next question was going to be for Warren. Warren, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about you?
So far, so good.
Mr. Danger.
That's right. Well, Warren, he is our computer graphic artist, a visual storyteller, and a co-architect for Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV Look. And let's talk about, Warren, what first pulled you into computer graphics? Was it technology, art, storytelling, or was it just the thrill of making something out of nothing?
A lot of the above you just mentioned, but I started back in like 1985, I think, when Dell put out the first computer for
Windows
for the public people to use.
Yeah. Okay.
And that back then the computers were big, bulky, and heavy.
Yes.
So,
bulky.
Right. And back then we had dial-up. We didn't have the internet like it is now, and dial-up was a pain. But anyway,
let me go with that sound effect for you, Warren. All right.
Yeah.
We all know it too.
But anyway, I just, when I got on the computer and got onto the internet, which was rare because you always get on 5 minutes and then they kick you off and then you have to try again. That happened for probably the first year that I had a computer. It was really frustrating. But I began to see pictures and people's art, and stuff they created on their own. And I seen some pictures that I really liked, and I said, hey, I'd like to do that. So I looked into how to make pictures and found that I had to go buy a bunch of programs, like GIMP and many more. But anyway, I had to spend all this money on programs.
Yeah. He has a very forgiving wife.
Yeah. And they weren't cheap, that's for sure. But I taught myself on these programs how to work the program, how to do, how to get rid of a background if I wanted to, or, stuff like that. So I started doing that. And I started posting online. It's about the same time I got on when the Facebook first came in.
Oh, okay.
That's when I first got on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after, I got the computer and all, but
I just saw it yesterday. Facebook's birthday was 22 years ago. So Facebook was 22 years ago.
Okay, 22 years ago then. But anyway, I started posting really bad artwork on, whatever I could think of.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm a Beatles fan, and I was listening on radio, and the Beatles came on, and I said, hey, that's a good idea.
Was it Beatles-A-Rama you were listening to, Warren?
Yeah, that was Beatles-A-Rama, yes. And I said to myself, well, the Beatles will go good with just about anything.
Yeah.
And around the same time, me and my wife were getting together, so the love song, Beatles, the love songs.
Yeah.
So I started making pictures like Valentine pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Little love me do pictures.
Tell them where you lived at the time too, Warren.
Right.
Where was it, Warren? Where were you?
What was that?
Where were you living at that time?
In Las Vegas.
There you see.
Oh, wow.
I think they got it out in the Elvis Chapel.
I'm not in Vegas anymore, though. I'm in Maryland, so
okay.
I'm an hour ahead of you guys, ain't I?
Yeah. Yes, you are. Now, the big question is, Warren, you had your path. Pat, you started your path. How in the world did you guys cross paths?
I guess Warren discovered Beatles-A-Rama, several years ago, and he got in touch with me and asked me to be. He was working with another person, and they would do these interviews that would go on for hours. But he called me. He contacted me, and he says, "Hey, you want to be a guest?" And I said, well, "Where?" And he told me, and then I'd be waiting in the waiting room on these programs like you use, James, and and I'd just be sitting there, and it was funny. There was one person that he was working with that he would come up with these crazy things where he was like an invisible person. I mean, it was like all you could hear was his voice. I got Warren because I was making jokes about it.
He wanted me to make a bulldog talk for him. Back then I couldn't, so that would have been a task for me to do. But we called him Bulldog. His nickname was Bulldog, and he wanted to make a cartoon bulldog talking and use that for his video picture on the screen for interviews. And I never got that far, but I almost gave it a shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's who we're speaking about, or who Pat is.
That's right. That's
about.
right. And needless to say, Warren liked me better.
Yeah.
So Warren calls you up and says, "Hey, I'd like to interview you."
Right.
And then you guys just took it off from there. You formed this great relationship.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it took, and I was like counseling Warren about, he didn't want to hurt the person's feelings and that kind of stuff. And I said, "Man, you got to think about yourself." I said your artwork is brilliant. I said, "You don't need anybody to slow you down." I mean, needless to say, this guy just blamed Warren for anything that went wrong in his life.
Oh,
so,
wow. So you guys took that meeting. Huh? You took that meeting. You guys hit it off really good. You saw a lot of potential in Warren's work. Warren saw a lot of potential in what you were doing.
Right.
And you guys just kept it going.
That's right. And we were doing, interviews on camera with people. And that was the TV part of it. But we just got around to, when I said that we started Beatles-A-Rama TV a couple of years ago, we didn't really have a name for it at first. I think it was the Beatles Kingdom, which was Warren's site.
Yeah. Okay.
But, we've left the kingdom. The king has no clothes.
I run a Facebook group, or I own a Facebook group called the Beatles Kingdom. So if you want to go there, go ahead.
Yeah, check it out. I've been there, and it's a fun place. It really highlights a lot of your graphic work that you really do well at. And I can only imagine between the two of you, you've both started at this point and you have evolved to where we are right now. So let's talk about how hard was it working together and what kind of issues or drawbacks were thrown in your way that you guys had to work through.
You want me to
make this radio
station? You want me to go with
station?
that, Warren? You want me to go there? The only issue I have with Warren is that he's in a different time zone.
I'll take off with that, Pat. I'm going to start about in the middle of where we've been talking. I started listening to Beatles-A-Rama, and of course, I like this station, and I'm a Beatles fan, so I listened to it just about every day, and while I was doing my art or whatever I was doing on the computer.
Yeah.
And I always heard Pat on there, and I was like, he's got a darn good voice.
He's so smooth.
Yeah, to be on the radio. So I thought that was really cool about Pat. So it made me listen to the station a little more. And then after a few years passed, something happened and I couldn't get Beatles-A-Rama anymore. And I was like, what happened to my radio station,
Yeah.
So
that was in 2021. That was around the time that I moved from California to Waldheim, Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, so
I ran out of money. I mean, I was going to bring that up when you were talking about donations and stuff. I just spent a whole bunch of money on licensing just last week.
yes, you did.
And licensing is the thing that killed the stream the first time. But we had no income whatsoever at that time, and now we get some donations here and there, and some ads that we're running. We're building, I guess, a group of people who believe in the radio station and the TV station and want to help us. So,
okay. So, Pat, in your own words, what do you think running this radio station the way that you guys have been? What is the single biggest challenge or frustration of streaming over the years? Is it the licensing?
that's the main issue. The licensing, and before that, it was the DMCA guidelines. I think I think they pretty much backed off of that, and I think the reason is maybe somebody, in the Library of Congress came up with the brilliant idea that, people are going to record stuff off the internet if they want to.
Right.
I mean, we weren't. I mean, we knew that we couldn't track an album. I mean, you can't do that.
What we were talking about before, Pat, was the single biggest challenge or frustration of streaming your own radio station like Beatles-A-Rama Radio. And you were saying licensing and regulations and rules were some of the obstacles that were in your way.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to keep the radio station going?
With a credit card.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
I maxed out a credit card. Don't tell anybody. It's in the other room. But I did. We did that, and we had to skimp on some things which I didn't like, and that's the reason why I stopped it in 2021.
All right. So we were talking about the single biggest challenge, frustration is licensing, and how you were able to keep the radio station going, and you used your own credit card because you believed in the station so much. You went without a lot of stuff to keep it afloat.
Yeah. And I was teaching at a community college at the time, voice acting. And I was using my students to do different liners and stuff for me. And then I started saving a little bit of money. And I had this guy, I'm trying to remember his name, Jack somebody, who was in Texas, who did my liners. I would write them and I'd send them to him, And then, and then I got everybody to start to help me and not get paid. Okay. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of Gary Burbank.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gary Burbank, I had Bob Todd. I had a guy named Ray Whitaker, his wife, Laura. They worked WMVY and Martha's Vineyard. So they all, I would write liners and send it to all of these people, and they would just like ad lib what I wrote, and I used that. So that helped because I was filling in the cracks that I needed to, and I wasn't spending any money, and everybody was so happy to be a part of it. And it still boggles my mind to this day that they.
So you got creative.
Yeah, and then through Warren I met you. And, and you have a great show that, we run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We don't want we don't want to run out of shows. So then we have another guy by the name of O'Rourke. What's his first name, Warren? Scott O'Rourke. And, he's got a good show. Those are people that we, been able to recruit. So,
yeah. Well, just like with the Beatles, I mean, where they started out and how they evolved through the years in front of the fans' eyes. I mean, you think about the small amount of time that the Beatles were together and how things changed, how things evolved. Does the constant reinvention of influence, how do you approach the design for the platform?
Yeah, I think that's a good word, reinvention, because we always have to reinvent ourselves. And I think that the Beatles, having been a collector of their music and their albums and stuff since I was 12 years old, has helped to reinvent something whenever I needed to change. And so I like that. I like that challenge to do that kind of stuff. It's never, look, the Beatles, as a musical education, we say that, it's the Beatles and a whole lot more. And it's because of the different categories of things that I've discovered. I mean, I have these time capsules, I call them, where I have sound from events from the 60s. So it's also, it's a history lesson as well. So I like doing that. I like teaching, and I like sharing what I know. And so, and Warren's the same way.
Well, that's what I was going to say next with Warren. I mean, your graphics have evolved from you being soft-taught to creating some really cool work, and the evolution of the look of Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV, along with the programming and the content of everything that's on the radio station, I think just makes a really good combination of two good talents that combined together make a memorable and pleasurable listening experience for those who might have Beatles-A-Rama Radio on in the background while they're doing their work, or purposely listening to it as their day goes by to keep entertained. Yeah. So it worked out really good for you guys. Now, I'll ask both of you this question. Has working so closely with the Beatles material, has it changed the way you listen to or emotionally connect with the music?
I never grow tired of it at all. I mean, it's like, it's I only enjoy it more, I could say.
Right. That's a good answer.
My wife says, how do you like that? You've been listening to that for 50 years or whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna say, well, that says something about them now, doesn't it? And so Warren's wife understands him better than some people understand me. There's a line of people. There's a line of people for that. So
Warren, let me ask you the same question. Has working with the Beatles material changed the way you listen to the music or emotionally connect to it?
I don't think so. I'm a Beatle fan, and always have been since the day I was born. I think I was probably in my mother's stomach while the Beatles were saying, "I want to hold your hand," and I was probably dancing in there. You know what I mean?
You were saying, "I want to suck your thumb." I think.
It hasn't changed the way I listen to music at all, but it's changed a lot with my art, and now I include AI in everything I do. AI helps me.
We also have a female version of Warren that started to work for us too.
Yes.
Debbie Sagi.
Oh, yeah.
Debbie Saga.
We love Debbie. Hello, Debbie. Hope you're doing well.
Hello there. I am Debbie Soga from Beatles-A-Rama.com. Hope you find love throughout the year on this Valentine's Day. Have a beautiful holiday from all of us here at Beatles-A-Rama Radio.
Well, the thing is with Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV, it feels kind of like a living organism rather than a static archive. So how do you two keep it alive, curious, and involving?
Warren keeps coming up with these ideas about how to give stuff away. I want people to notice the graphic behind your head, James, where it says Beatles-A-Rama.com. There's a quick story about that. When I shut it down in 2021, I let the URL that I own expire, and somebody picked it up immediately.
Seriously?
And they didn't do anything with it. I mean, if you go to BeatlesARama.com, like it used to be all one word, you'll see that there's nothing there. I think somebody in Japan bought it, but
wow.
So I tried to get it back, and they wanted like $60,000 or something, and I'm like, I can't do that. So then I was working with GoDaddy, and they told me, I said, why don't you put a dash like you had in your logo, before? And I said, oh, you can do that? And they said, sure. So that's what I did, but it makes it a little bit more complicated to let people know about it. But I dare anybody to go to Beatles-A-Rama.com and click on the station to play it, which is there on the homepage, and to not realize what a genius that Warren is by the graphics that are on there. So.
Yeah, his graphics are amazing. I mean, even during the Christmas season, I presented Warren with a black and white drawing of the Beatles in like old-fashioned nightgowns that they wore back in the day. And he colorized it and animated it as they're walking off to the side. I'm just like, that was amazing, Warren. That was really good. You took a drawing and you gave it a pulse. You made it alive. It was amazing. So you're pretty good with that.
Yeah. And the thing about him is that he always outdoes himself from the previous time. That's the message.
That's one of the reasons why we started up Beatles-A-Rama TV. And we started a YouTube channel called Beatles-A-Rama TV. And because I was good at videos, we started doing videos. And of course, I was getting copyrighted on the whole time because, every Beatles song's copyright.
Right.
I think there's only one that isn't it. There's one song, early song, that isn't copyrighted. I forget.
Cry for a Shadow.
No, it was like Love Me Do or something. It's not. Yeah, it isn't copyrighted. The only Beatles song that's not copyrighted. So look into that.
Let me ask you this. Have you met a lot of the listeners throughout the years? People that made connections with you or met you at...
I told you that, we met, I met Louise Harrison, George's sister.
Oh yeah, Lou's was a good friend of mine.
Yeah, she passed away 3 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
and she's great. And And she has a Beatles tribute band, Liverpool Legends, who never returned my call, by the way.
Marty, shame on you.
That's why, and I think they've come and gone from the local area, but that's okay. I forgive you. We had some Beatles shows that I went to. They had one on the Santa Monica Pier in California. And by the way, coincidentally, I met a nanny who was working that day, and her name was Amy, and I don't know who she was nannying for, but she eventually married Chuck Negron at Three Dog Night. And
wow!
She's like 40 years old, and he was 80 something. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But he just passed away.
Yeah, Chuck just passed away. Wow.
Yeah. So and so indirectly met him. Then we met a bunch of people down in San Diego. They had a Beatles thing down there too. Let's see who was there. Billy J. Kramer was there.
Oh yeah, Billy J. Kramer. Good guy. Good guy. I like him.
Yeah. He had two fingers missing. Did you know that? He played a guitar with two fingers and a thumb.
I'll have to look now.
Oh, it's an accident. There's an accident or something. On a electric saw.
Oh wow!
When he was a kid.
Yeah.
But anyway,
didn't stop him though, did it?
No, it didn't.
He did a great job.
He was a very nice guy too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, as far as listeners go, what does your average listener say when they contact you or they meet you in person? What's the vibe you get from the listeners about Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV?
Well, I'm not bragging or anything, but it's like the people say the same thing over and over again. It's like, I knew that was you. I recognized your voice. Okay, that's great. And people are writing on the Beatles-A-Rama Facebook page now and says, "Boy, you have a great voice." I said, "Look, you know what? It hasn't impressed me since 1975. Okay, so you know what I mean. I think James Jones has a great voice too."
Well, thank you. Well, what about you, Warren? What kind of connections and things do listeners say that you've met?
Well, first of all, I don't have a great voice.
Oh, shut up! You're gonna say that. Listen. This man is is a testimony. A testament, is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
A testament to perseverance after two strokes. Okay. I mean, how can you had to learn how to talk all over again. So I just stop it, Warren.
Yeah, no, doing good.
I had to learn everything all over again. So yeah, it was a long, hard road. And to answer your question, that's why I haven't been out and about, and I haven't met a whole lot of people.
I see.
Because, it's hard for me to go out. I can't even drive anymore. So, yeah, I don't go anywhere. Most of my stuff's done on the computer. And I've met a lot. I met a lot of people this way. And it's just like meeting them outside my door.
Oh, yeah.
So you get to know people. I got to know you so far, James. And
right.
You have blown me away so far. You've done great on your interviews.
Oh, thank you.
In the station and everything. So hats off to you. And Pat, I thank you for everything because you give me the incentive to do what I do. So,
well, with that being said, Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV has really, for all intents and purposes, been listener supported for much of its life. And why is it important that this remain a community-powered platform rather than a corporate one?
Well, I think people need to feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? And say, I'm listening to this, and I'm not going to take advantage of them. I'm going to, do just a little bit of, my part. Because I always say, if everybody that listens to the station would give us, donate $5. I said we could be sitting pretty for a long time.
I mean, it's a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, depends on what city you're in, James.
This is true. This is true.
I don't know.
So,
how much is the coffee at your concert is what I want to know.
Nah, ha, ha. See, we don't serve coffee at my concert.
We're
going to be serving other things.
Let's talk about that for a minute, James. You got something going on here shortly, don't you?
You do this February 14th, right?
As close as I can to Valentine's Day. Yeah. And for the last 20 years, much like you guys, I have that passion, that love for what I do. And it doesn't feel like work at all. So
exactly.
I have this thing. It's called the All You Need Is Love Valentine's Day concert. And I feature American English, the complete Beatles tribute experience as the entertainment. Newsweek magazine has titled them the best Beatles tribute band on planet Earth.
Wow.
I was fortunate to make good friends with them back in the 80s.
Tell them to send me some tracks, man, and put it on the air.
Yeah, I definitely will, because they're great. And, through American English, I met Sam Leach, one of the original Beatles managers back in the day. I met Louise Harrison.
I think, right?
Yeah. And then I met Lou, who was like a grandma to my kids. She'd always be coming around with trinkets and candies that they shouldn't have had, but she loved those kids. And then, I met Denny Lane of, Moody Blues and Paul McCartney and Wings, and Joey Mullen of Badfinger, and Pete Best.
Joey Mullen and as well.
Yeah. So when you're in this circle of people, you tend to make friends with a lot of folks and keep those relationships nice and strong. And we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, 20 years of doing this All You Need Is Love concert. And it's American English, one of the top Beatles tribute bands in, as Newsweek calls planet Earth. And we have done that for the last 20 years. It's always a no-brainer, because when it's cold and wet and miserable outside and you're inside all the time, you get that cabin fever going. So that's why I chose Valentine's Day or around that time, so people could get out of the house, enjoy a couple hours of getaway, some great music. The band, they do such a great job. When the concert's over, they sign every autograph, take every picture, and they're just really fan friendly. I think that's what makes them have such a large following. Mm-hmm. And here we are 20 years later. And this Valentine's Day, February 14th, Saturday, at the Quality Inn and Suites in Bradley, Illinois, right off of I-57, exit 315, about less than an hour south of Chicago. We're going to have this big event. And it's going to be a great time. We're looking forward to it. So not only do I do my radio show and the interviews, but I'm also doing these concerts. So it shows you how absolutely involved, passionate, and legit I am about this music and the characters that make it. So, yeah, thanks for letting me talk about that really quick. That was good. Yeah.
And it's a evergreen, because you do it every year.
I do it every year. Yeah. And people, it started out as a fundraiser, and then the school ended up closing. And I had so many people come up to me going, please don't let this end. Keep it going. So I did a couple other charities here and there. And then I got to the point where I'm like, let's just do it for the community. And that's what we've done. And here we are 20 years later. Must be doing something right. Yeah.
Well,
no.
Congratulations on 20 years.
Thank you.
And I got a question for you.
Sure.
Do you MC the event?
I do. Yeah.
And how often are you on stage, and what should we expect from you?
Okay, good question.
Are you a jokester or anything?
I am.
I mean, you know.
I'm a bit of a rascal. I won't lie about that.
Warren wants to write some jokes for you, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is with American English, it's like a Broadway show. They have 3 different costume changes. They start off in the Ed Sullivan years with the black suits and ties. And then they make their way to the psychedelic era in their Sgt. Pepper outfits. And then they take us full circle to Abbey Road. And in between those changes, I get up on the microphone. I let everyone know all the sponsors that brought us this great entertainment. We have raffles and giveaways. We have lots of fun. It's an all ages show. So, my core audience is like from 18 to 64. But, some are a little younger, some are a little bit older. But it's an all ages show that has grown into a 20th anniversary. If you think about it, really, you're lucky if you can do 1 or 2 shows, let alone 5, let alone 10.
Yeah.
And here we are celebrating 20.
Any television coverage there?
No, I'm not that big yet, but I'm working on it. But
I've noticed that you go out and get your own sponsors.
Oh, yes. In fact, today I was talking to a car dealership. And they're brand new to the area. But one of the workers there, when I was talking to the owner, he's like, one of my girls knows you. They've seen you at all these events. You're kind of a celebrity around here. And I'm like, well,
kind of.
I said, well, it's nice to be recognized in a good way rather than America's Most Wanted. I'm old enough where it was a $5 reward back in the day.
Right.
So
you told me, say, hey, listen, my picture's been on the wall in the post office since the postage was 11 cents. Tell me.
So yeah, I get my own sponsors, and you get no's because it's life is hard, business is hard, money isn't just falling off trees nowadays. But the people who get it absolutely want to be behind it. They want to be acknowledged at this concert because they know it is a big to do for the community. And I've got people from hour away to a couple hours away. And I've worked with the hotel Quality Inn and Suites, and we've negotiated a super great rate for concert goers. So I've got a woman coming about 3 hours away, bringing her entire family. They're going to stay a couple nights so they can enjoy the area, enjoy the concert, and have the kids have a good time. So, yeah, it works out good. But, speaking of
snow, and they need this.
Well, speaking of sponsors, many listeners, Pat, Warren, they might not even realize what it takes to keep a 24/7 station running. So what are the real behind the scenes cost of keeping Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV alive?
I'll let Pat answer that, but thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the monthly stuff that we pay for. We pay for editing equipment. Editing software.
Yeah.
We pay for the streaming. We're streamed by a company out of London. Before I shut things down, we were being streamed by a company out of London, which was a different company.
Oh, wow.
And they were great because they made the actual interface to program the radio station. Now, the one we're with now doesn't cost as much, but it's harder to maneuver.
Oh, I see.
And but I think we're doing pretty well as far as the rotation and the sound and stuff like that. I mean, I come from a radio background. I started in 1970. Do the math. And I learned then how that rotation and format in radio has got a lot to do with math. And, so that's what I passed on to Beatles-A-Rama from the very beginning. And that's why I think it succeeds as far as, the sound of the station.
I see.
If that makes sense. But,
so there's a lot of
a few $100s a month. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot.
Licensing. That's after paying the licensing.
Right. And that's not even making like a profit. You're just trying to not lose money now, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Nice to have a little access there, and so that if something comes up, like Warren and I are discussing doing some promotions and some giveaways.
Yeah.
And I had this idea. I dream stuff, okay? And the good stuff, when I wake up, I remember it. And I was talking about if you made a donation to Beatles-A-Rama of at least $20, you were in the running for a $100 bill. Ooh. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
So
no, that's clever.
Warren, at the same time, I think he was in my dream, and he was, cheating by paying attention to what I was doing. And he came up with the idea that he posted. Tell him what it is, Warren. You posted it on the Beatles-A-Rama Facebook page today, right?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the site, but I went there and they take care of everything for us. It's a contest, or not a contest. It's
promotion.
A drawing.
Yes, a promotion. What do they call them tickets when you go out to dinner and
raffle?
Yeah, a raffle type thing. And you click on the site. You pay $5 for a chance to win a shirt. $5 for a shirt isn't too bad.
No.
So
those are the Beatle-A-Rama t-shirts, correct?
That's correct. That's our logo design. I got 2 types. So
plug those, Warren. They're going to be on the site pretty soon.
Yes, they are.
I've actually seen some of the posts today. So you donate $5 to Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV, and you get a chance to win a Beatles-A-Rama Radio TV t-shirt.
Exactly.
And they're cool. They are super cool, folks.
It's going to run. It's going to run until April the 1st, I believe it is, and then they're going to pick a drawing, and whoever they pick wins the shirt, of course. But you donate $5, and they give you a ticket, and you can, if you want, you can donate more than $5. So every $5 gets you a ticket. So if you spend $20, you get 4 tickets, 4 chances to win.
Okay.
So the more tickets you buy, the more the shirt's going to cost you.
Right.
Even though it's free, you're buying the tickets. So if you buy 4 tickets, that's $20, and you're going to wind up paying $20 for the t-shirt. But on the low end, if you just do $5, the shirt is well worth $5. You wear the shirt, I believe, on your interviews.
I do.
And Pat has the same shirt also. So I think everybody's seen it before.
Yep.
Or at least everybody.
It's like a silly drawing of Albert Einstein. And then and it says Beatles-A-Rama rocks.
I love it. Well, Pat, let me ask you a question directly, okay? And that is, what would you say to a listener who thinks, I don't really have a lot. If I donated something to Beatles-A-Rama, maybe it's only $5, maybe it's $10. What do you say to someone who thinks that their small contribution probably doesn't matter?
That's not true at all. Like I started to say before, that Warren and I have always said that, if somebody donated even $1, if everybody donated $1, we wouldn't have to ask anybody to do any donations. We could back off for a little while. So there's no amount that's too small. That's what I would say to you. And and people hear that all the time, and I think that they think that that's just BS, but it's not.
Okay, well that's a good answer. So basically, every every donation makes a difference.
Every donation. Look at
Donations make the station run. There
That's
you go.
right.
I
I
like
got my
that
shirt.
Right.
Well, this is the shirt we're talking about, folks. This is the Beatles-A-Rama Radio T-shirt, and it just says Beatles-A-Rama rocks. And I love it.
I like that design. I don't know if anybody else does or not, but I like the T-shirt myself. So,
but just remember to put
it's
those
worth
dashes.
$5. Is that shirt worth $5?
Easily.
Well, listen, Warren, tell them to just remember to put a dash after the A in the middle of Beatles-A-Rama on both sides of the A in order to go to the website.
Right.
Because, see, we
it's
had the originally
Beatles-A-Rama.com.
That's for the ramen noodles generation, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'll tell you what, I started working for you guys back in July of 2025. And a couple weeks into it, Warren sent me this T-shirt, and I wear it a lot during my interviews and stuff. And well, I'll tell you what, it lasts good. It's like still brand new, and it's comfortable. It's soft, and hey man, it makes me look good. So
you wash it. You got to remember to wash it inside out. Okay.
Oh yeah. But I'll tell you what, great T-shirts. They're durable, because if you've seen some of my interviews here, folks, on Beatles-A-Rama TV, you'll see I wear it quite often. So I'm wearing it a lot, but you never know it. It's not faded. It's comfortable. It hasn't shrunk. It's very, I don't know. It's just comfortable T-shirt. I love
stuff. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like our programming, Warren, and like Warren's graphic stuff. It's quality.
It's absolutely quality. Good stuff. So see why I put Pat on the main page.
I just opened the store up and put it on the website if you want to check it out. And I want to explain a little bit about that, because most T-shirt printers will not print the Beatles. It's because it's all copyrighted. So I have to find myself a way around that. And this is the reason why you get the shirts that I print, or the graphics that I put on shirts, because just the word Beatles, they flag it. And they won't print it.
Right.
So I'm surprised that they print them shirts that you're wearing, because it says Beatles on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to design something and find my way around.
Gotcha.
The Beatles. I can't do pictures. I can't do cartoons.
Right.
You know, I can't do anything that looks like a Beatle.
We all have our problems. They see that's Warren's DMCA guidelines, and so they say, you know what, Pat, we're not going to just let you suffer. We're going to make Warren suffer as well.
Spread the misery.
That's right.
Yeah, well, we all got to find our way around.
Right, and that's why we're here and talking to the fans and the listeners. Now, let me ask you guys: do donations help ensure the quality of what people see and experience? Not that it exists, but that it looks and feels right.
Yeah. I mean, the donations are everything. I mean, listen, if I was rich, if Warren was rich, we wouldn't have to ask anybody for anything. We just, we'd say, oh, this is our, project.
I would do it for free.
Yeah. And then everybody's doing it. All those people I had doing liners and stuff, and Hugh James and Scott O'Rourke. I mean, it's
so Beatles-A-Rama isn't really driven by algorithms. It's driven by passion. How important is listener support in protecting that independence from the corporates and all the other controlling factors to keep independent?
Pat?
That's a tough question. I mean, I try to keep it simple, and do what I feel is right. I feel like I've experienced enough in radio, number one, and then in my Beatles collecting and stuff. I just recently went through all of my Beatles album collection, the vinyl, and pulled out all the duplicates.
Oh.
And I was able to sell them, and then I put the money right back into Beatles-A-Rama. I sold the duplicates for $550.
Wow.
And my wife was happy because every time we move, it's, hey, look, it's 50 less records.
They were probably worth 3 times that.
Well, I got this app on my phone. It's called, let's see if I can get it to my phone to work. Oh, I turned it off.
Oh, that's right. See, smart.
I forgot what it's called. Vinyl something or other. And it's really weird because, and if you go on Discogs, you ever go on Discogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on there.
They're pretty much accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's this app, and you just hover above the label.
Yeah.
And it tells you, and it's amazing that, it'll print like who the producer of the album was and all this other stuff. And, I'm pretty impressed by it. Let me see the name of it so I can quit talking stupid here. Okay, it's called Vinyl Snap.
Vinyl Snap. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out.
And then see, it says My Vinyl. This is the most recent. So these are singles that I scanned. Like the Queen is worth $2.10. Wait, let's see. Something people. Surfing USA, the single with Shutdown on the other side for $12. Even listen to this. That was my band when I was 16 years old. It was called The Water, and we did a song called We Get Along, which I wrote. And it's worth $30. But yeah, nobody's wants to buy that record, okay? So I'm keeping that one just in case anybody wants it. There was a Nowhere to Run, which was the old Martha Reeves and the Vandellas song.
Yeah.
This is by a group called Witches and the Warlocks.
Oh.
For $21.90. So it's like, if it's a real collectible, boy, there's Brute Force's.
Yes.
Right there, Brute Force. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. I Love You So Muchism is the name. It's worth $21.80.
Wow. Brute Force. Yeah. That's Stephen Friedland.
That's Stephen Friedland. Yes.
Yeah.
Stephen, I'm not going to sell your record. Okay.
The king of fa, if you will.
King of fa.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as listeners go, I mean, internet radio doesn't really have any geographic borders. It's universal. It's global. So do you expect global reach?
Wait a minute. Global is musically for us meta.
Right.
Anything outside of meta, we can't.
Warren, put more restrictions on me.
What was that?
I said, Warren, more restrictions on me.
Yeah.
So how does that
the software that we use, we can actually, if we don't want to stream to a country, we can say we don't want to be streaming to that country.
Oh, I see. So you have controls like that.
I was going to make a Greenland joke there, but I'm not going to do it.
So how do you think with such a far reach, being a, online station, does that change your responsibility as a curator? I mean, is there more work to it? Do you have to really be conscious of this is far reaching? This just isn't in our backyard. This just isn't in a couple states. It's worldwide.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but you know what? And it's going to be people saying, well, I don't like that because I never heard that before. And that. But you know what? I don't say this to be mean or anything, or, but I don't care. I mean, it's like I'm playing stuff. I mean, I pride myself in having stuff that I know people never heard before. And it's part of the educational process. I want people to, step out of the box and listen to something that they don't ordinarily listen to. So,
and getting back to being listener supported, I mean, you guys have weathered changes in technology, music licensing, and listener habits. So, I mean, would you say those are the things that nearly broke Beatles-A-Rama? And how are you able to get back together, gather your forces, and keep Beatles-A-Rama alive? I mean,
yeah, no, that's the whole point, is to keep it going. I mean, I haven't really changed it that much since 24 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, I was forced to change, and
Yeah.
so I did. And I proved to myself that I could come up with something that was, that was going to be all right with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helped us, because I mean, some of these other tribute stations, all it is a jukebox, and it just keeps playing, one song after another, and that's pretty
like
much
a playlist.
Yeah, yeah. But I have a thing set up where I got this rotation going, and I'll have early Beatles in one packet. I'll have later Beatles in another packet. And what happens is they never play the same two songs back to back, because they're all just floating around, So,
yeah, like a segue maker, if you will.
Yeah. And that's like some of the segues are like, it sounds like there was a live person there putting it together, which is my goal.
Well, looking back now, what moment, Pat, made you realize Beatles-A-Rama had become something bigger than you ever planned?
When I won those trophies for Classic Rock Station of the Year.
Really?
3 times in a row. That's when I knew it was that, I mean, I saw the numbers leading up to that, and saw that we were number 3 overall in the world. And when we jumped all of a sudden and jumped to number 3, was that back then, iTunes used to have a radio platform, and it was called iTunes Radio.
Yeah.
And they handpicked, they went to Live 365, and they said, send us your stats on the streams that you have running currently. And they picked Beatles-A-Rama as one of the stations. And I was so impressed. And Warren, I'm still working. I was interviewed by Rolling Stone about maybe 10 years ago. And I'm still looking for the file with the article.
Yeah, I want to see it, please.
I got the actual, I moved so many times. I have the magazine actually, but I have no idea where it is. So,
Hey, James.
Yeah.
Let me go back to BW. Do you know what BW stands for? Before Warren.
What?
Before Warren. BW, before Warren.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
All right. So I'm going to go back to Pat Matthews, BW.
Okay.
All right. And back when Pat was gone and the radio station was going off the charts also, Pat was doing everything by himself.
Oh, wow.
And he had no one to promote him. He had no one to, share his radio station and put it out there in the public eye to even gain more recognition, that was before Warren. Now, after Warren, AW, he's got that. So now, hopefully, it'll go through the roof.
I like hearing that.
That's right.
Now, let me ask both of you this. What does it mean to you personally when listeners step up? I mean, not just to listen, but to help support.
It's a warm, fuzzy feeling. I like knowing that people like what we're doing, and even if they don't like what we're doing, I ask them to contact us as well and tell me exactly what it is that you believe that we're not doing right, and we'll take it under advisement.
There you go. Well, it's really
my
good.
Facebook page, people let me know what's up, if they like it or if they don't, or if they got a beef about something, I get a message or something like that. And so far, I haven't had any complaints. So we really haven't had to change much about what we're doing. I just got to keep at it a little bit more, and hopefully we can put Pat where he should be.
Well, and you know, the other thing is too, just like the song title, with a little help from our friends, the listeners, if you get any kind of enjoyment or a special moment or maybe something you never knew before or a song you haven't heard, you know, show that appreciation by making a little donation and keep Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV going good. You know, get a T-shirt, get a raffle for a T-shirt,
Warren,
buy a T-shirt.
I want James to be the pitch man, okay?
I'm just saying
he's
that
done this before. I can tell.
It's really good because we're so moved by the music, and when you got a song like "With a Little Help from My Friends," I mean, it really comes full circle. Those are the songs that folks can relate to, and when we see a radio station that's providing such a great place to escape from the craziness of the world today, you turn on Beatles-A-Rama Radio, TV. It's there for you like a good friend, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week. And it takes a lot to make this happen. It takes a lot to keep it going, but it also takes a lot to just keep that vibe, keep that passion going. And all you listeners out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We're passionate about this music. We're just passionate. So we're asking for a little help from our friends. And if you can help us out today, tomorrow, whether it's $5, whether it's $20, whether it's $100, regardless, please help us. Where would they go to send a donation to, Pat, Warren? Where would they go? Where would they send their donation to?
GoFundMe.com and type in Beatles-A-Rama, and in the search thing, type in Beatles-A-Rama, all one word.
And what site is that again?
GoFundMe.com.
Oh, okay.
And that's where we have that, and also this promotion thing that Warren set up today.
Okay.
What is the name of that anyway?
Sure. I'll have a donation link on our website soon. So
fantastic. Well, and we'll also have a website link on screen too, so you folks can click on it easily and make that difference today and keep some great things going.
Listen, with this interview, don't be playing too many Beatles songs because they'll kick it to the curb. You know.
Nah, we got to cut that out of our interviews.
Yeah, we will. We will. Now, Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV has always been about friends, always helping friends keep the music alive. And our thanks really to Pat Matthews and Warren Brown and all the listeners who support. They make this a shared love of the Beatles possible. And now, and for the next generation. So if you haven't tuned in to BeatlesARama.com yet, by all means, do yourself a favor. If you need to, tell a couple of your music friends. They don't necessarily have to be Beatle friends, music friends, because a lot of people have been inspired. You know, they've been inspired by the Beatles.
Right.
Let me just say this.
Word of mouth is a lot.
I was going to just mention this, Warren, that we have a lot of what I call first generation Beatles fans, sort of like me, you know, that grew up in the 60s and, you know, and recognized the Beatles from the get-go. But what really, you know, rocks my boat is when we have kids that come along that discover the Beatles. And that's the thing that has happened since we started Beatles-A-Rama back in 2001. It's almost like another generation has passed. So we grab onto those people, and you know, and I see them in the, you know, the Beatles. I see them in the grocery store, and teenagers with Beatles T-shirts and stuff, and I say, why don't you have a Beatles-A-Rama T? No, I don't say that. If I had some T-shirts, I'd say, put this on instead.
There you go. There you go.
But that's what I like.
With more donations, we can do that. We can have giveaways.
That's right.
Okay.
The more donations we get, the more we can have giveaways. And I plan on doing that soon. So that's in the works.
Nice. Well, and Beatles-A-Rama isn't, like you said earlier, Pat, it's not like a jukebox or a playlist. There's actual thought and segues that go into this. But besides all the great music, and it's just not all Beatles, it's their contemporary competition. And
we call that the revolution category.
Yeah.
The British invasion.
Yeah. There's so many different songs that just with me casually listening the other day to Beatles-A-Rama Radio, there were some great songs like, oh my God, I haven't heard that song in ages. It was great to have it reintroduced to me like an old friend again. And that's what you get when you tune into, Beatles-A-Rama Radio.
And that's what you get when you make a small donation to help us keep doing that.
And on top of the music, we also really have some great interviews with some of the fantastic people involved in a lot of the Beatles projects. I mean, just off the top of my head, we had an exclusive May Pang interview. So much fun. We've had filmmakers. We've had authors. In fact,
May seemed to be shocked by some of the questions that you were asking, which, I had that happen to me once before in AM radio back in the day, where I was interviewing John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas.
Yeah.
And I was saying stuff to him, and he goes, wait a minute. He says, you know more about me than I do. And I think that's what it seemed. That's what came into my head when I was watching your interview with May Pang. So,
yeah, it was such a fun interview. And originally, what's funny is May Pang's like, listen, I'll give you 45 minutes and that's it. And I'm like, okay. But I have a way with talking with people that our 45 minutes turned into 2 hours and 5 minutes. And the interview that you saw on Beatles-A-Rama TV was only an hour and 40 minutes. I've got 55 minutes that I promised May I wouldn't release to the public. It was off the record stuff, but it was great. I went from 45 minutes to 2 hours. Lawrence Juber, another great Wings musician, solo artist, fantastic person. Great interview. We've got filmmakers. I mean, Alan Parker, who made that Lennon documentary, his last 10 years, that was an amazing interview. You really see the passion with all these other people that we interview. And Pat, you're right. With the questions, I really go out of my way to ask questions so they're not the same old boring questions that they have to answer over and over. It's almost like a chore. When I talked to Lawrence Juber of Wings, after the interview was all said and done, he was so quite proper, very British, if you will. He's like, I found your questions quite probing. So it was a good time.
Before you came along, and I want to say this, that I'm so glad you came along, because I was doing the interviews before on top of all the programming stuff. And it was just wearing me out. And I interviewed who was it, Warren? The guy that used to cut Paul McCartney's hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I interviewed the guy from Elephant's Memory.
Okay. Yeah. Gary?
Gary Van Syak.
Yeah, Gary Van Syak. And, they were great too,
Oh, yeah.
They were all a part of Beatles history. So, and that's the kind of stuff that people discover, that they may not have known about it before. So,
well, and that's the cool thing, is the interviews aren't just musicians. They're not just authors. They're not just this and that. It's the whole spectrum of the Beatles universe and how they're connected to it, and the stories that they tell, and the stories that they have from themselves, where they began their journey that led them to where they are today. This is great stuff. We always want to know this, right?
Yeah. Before we go, I want to say thank you, first of all, to Jude Sutherland Kessler, who has written the John Lennon series. She's up to volume 6. I got it up here someplace.
Jude's great.
Also Bruce Spicer.
Bruce.
I got all of his books right there.
I love Bruce. His books are so, I use him for resources and references because he's so detailed with it.
The Beatles changed the world, and Bruce Spicer documents the journey from Please Please Me to With the Beatles like never before. In Bruce Spicer's Please Please Me to With the Beatles, you'll dive into the evolution of the Beatles sound from their earliest hits to the splash of American wide release. Discover the stories behind introducing the Beatles and Meet the Beatles, the American albums that brought the Fab Four to a nationwide craze. Spicer analyzes the music, the singles, and the albums with expert insight while placing them in the full context of the era. Beyond the notes, you'll explore the news, the films, and the culture that shaped the music, and the music that helped shape a generation. The book also features engaging fan recollections, offering personal memories that bring the era to life, from the excitement in the record store to the first whispers of Beatlemania. Bruce Spicer's Please Please Me to With the Beatles, an essential guide for fans, collectors, and scholars alike. Available now on sale at Beatle.net. That's BEATLE, no S.net.
Oh, yeah. And also a new sponsor, Dan Absher.
I'm going to be interviewing him February 12th.
Yeah, and
Next week.
His is really complicated, but I think that you'll make everybody understand what,
but very curious.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very interesting thing that he's done. But it's just it's complicated for stupid people like me.
Stay tuned.
What if the secret formula for organizational excellence has been hiding in plain sight for over 60 years? It's right in the incredible story of the most successful musical group of all time. Dan Absher, longtime CEO, coach, and educator, presents the Beatles as the ultimate case study for building exceptional teams, from their meteoric rise to their breakup. Absher uncovers 4 transformative pillars of enduring excellence: right people, right seats, catalytic vision, esprit de corps, and the magical mystery of synergy and serendipity. Packed with Beatles trivia, curated playlists, actionable tools, and practical insights, this is more than a business book. It's a unique blend of music history and organizational wisdom, a blueprint for any team or organization to become wildly successful and avoid derailment. The Fab Four Pillars of Impact, as revealed by Dan Absher, coming soon.
And who else? We got one. Who else do we have? I guess that's all for right now.
Well, I've got a long list of people. We're trying to connect with Rogue Best.
Rogue
we're trying
is great.
Oh, he is.
Listen, I interviewed him so long ago. It was before he, did the hotel thing, and the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
well, I can tell you one time, American English. It was for a George Harrison tribute a year after he had passed away. And we were in Bridgeport, Illinois at a place called Nico's rehearsing. And it was Denny Lane, Joey Mullen, Pete Best, Rogue was with them. And Sam Leach was there. And I remember Sam Leach coming up to me going, "Now listen, James, I'll get you in with Pete, but you can't talk about Beatles." And I looked at Sam and I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to talk to him about? Hey, Pete, let me ask you, how many times do you chew your food? Well, you know what I did? I broke the ice. And that's why I love doing interviews, is I broke the ice with Pete going, "Hey, Pete, when you were performing in Germany with the fellas," I said, "what was the couple songs that you did?" And we broke into it, broke the ice, and he was just going on about it. And they, he opened him up. And Sam was like, "I can't believe you were able to do that." I'm like, you just got to know how to talk to people and let them tell their story. And Pete wanted his story to be heard. It's a great story.
You do a good job, James.
Well, hopefully you guys will keep me at least another week. I'm hoping.
Maybe.
Sure. we have a fresh show for you this afternoon at 4:00 Central Time.
There you go, man. Love it. Well, is there anything that you guys in parting, would like to say to all the listeners and would-be listeners out there for Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV?
Yeah, I just want to say I want people to discover what we've done, what we're doing, and what we've done, and give us a chance. Beatles-A-Rama.com. Click on the player, and it'll play all the time. And I want to tell you that the actual audio sound for you audiophiles is the best I've ever heard streaming online. And I don't say that because it's us, but I think it's the company that actually is hosting us that makes it sound the way it does. And it's just incredible. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to Beatles songs that I've listened to since 1964, and I hear stuff in them that I never heard before. So, and that's really weird to be able to say that about internet streaming.
Well, and I'll tell you this, like when I do my show, The Magical Mystery Tour, Beatle Years and Beyond, I always go for the best, highest quality songs.
Yeah.
Now, not everyone has access to that, but I've got quite a collection. And some of the curious songs may have never been remastered or in good quality to begin with. We play those too. But you make a good point, Pat. This isn't just somebody with a little computer and making a little playlist and just throwing it together. This is actually passion-driven, segued, thought out, and put together for the fans, the listeners of music. Whether you're a Beatles fan or a music fan, this station is made for everyone. And it's good quality, so tune it in today. Warren, keep up the great work with all the graphics. You really make Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV pop. And let's be honest, the Beatles style was always about the look, was always about, the new fashion. If you took the Beatles from 1964 and you put them to the Beatles 3 years later from 1967, you may not even recognize them. They evolved. They kept changing, and they were artistically popping all the time.
And you know what? Warren makes everybody realize that Paul McCartney did not die in 1967.
Indeed. So, Warren, make sure that we have all the websites and links that listeners can go to donate, to check out, to see the interviews, to hear the music, and really get the full Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV experience that you can only get here at www.Beatles-A-Rama.com. Do it today. Mark it, bookmark it, save it, visit often, make a donation, whether it's $5, $20, $100. Every donation makes a big difference. And I would love to see Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV going into the next generation and beyond, entertaining folks and just keeping this passion alive and keeping this music playing loudly. Yeah?
We will do that.
There you go. That's what I want to hear.
Thank you, James.
Now
we know why the D stands for danger.
Well, it's been my pleasure, you guys. And folks, for Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV, I'm James D. Jones, and we've got Pat Matthews there, and we've got Warren Brown, and let's not forget Scott Rourke, great guy, does a great job. Our sponsors, Jude Sutherland, we love you. Kessler, we love you. Bruce Spicer, keep up the great work. When's the next book coming out? And then we've got a new sponsor coming up, Dan the Man, if you will, and I'll be interviewing him next week, and you will really get your eyes opened on the far-reaching aspects of the Beatles. It's good stuff. You can only get it right here at Beatles-A-Rama Radio and TV.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next time. All right.
Catch you. Yo, James's show comes on in an hour.
Yep. Tune in. There you go.